Hi, my name is Diego, and in this video I want to cover a little bit of the details of how are we doing remote line sessions here at the HIT. The first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to download an app called Zoom Meetings, and it's important to do this in advance prior to your lesson. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes to complete the process, not only of downloading the app. You're going to need to put an email address, and there you're going to get an email with a link that you have to click to verify the app. Important to do this all in advance. It's free, so you don't have to pay for the account. And what's important is if you do this in advance, you should be ready to start your lesson on time, because we're trying to run the same schedule that we have here at the studio, just with the students at their houses. So super important, do this in advance so you're ready to get started at your scheduled time. The second thing that you're gonna need is to write these two numbers down. We're posting here the direct lines that we're using to be able to text you a code with the meeting ID and the password. Now these two are cell lines that we're using, and we're doing this by text because it's a lot easier for us to coordinate multiple lessons at the same time. So there is no need to call us. If you wanna call us, please do that on our regular business line. But these numbers are only to send you the codes through text. If you have a question, we prefer if you text us back, and we're trying to even get some students to confirm via text that they are interested in doing this type of lesson. But again, if you want to speak to someone, call regular business line. These numbers are to send you the codes and to keep the process super fast. Once you receive the code, what you need to do is click on Join Meeting on the app and put the meeting ID, and then it's going to ask you for a password. Once you put the password in, you should be able to see your instructor at your scheduled time. So it's fairly easy, and we're going to cover also in detail what do you need for each specific instrument. But with that process, you should have everything that you need to get started. So let's cover a couple of basics on the devices that you're going to be using. First, we would prefer if you use a laptop and put the software on a laptop, as we believe it's going to have a stronger, better connection. Now, if you don't have a laptop, that's okay. You can use any device that you have. It is super important that the shot that we see is not necessarily a wide shot. We don't need to see all of your house. You can preferably put the student against the wall so we can see the student, their hands, their face, and at the same time, we don't necessarily need to see any distractions for us as instructors. And we prefer if the student is in a room that is not necessarily a room that the student also is going to be distracted. So maybe not necessarily the living room, maybe a room would probably be the best, so the student can just interact with the teacher without a lot of distractions. It is important also to mention that Wi-Fi is critical, and it's important to put the student close to your router. So if you're using a cell phone or if you're using an iPad, probably good to check the distance between the device and the router so we don't lose connection in the middle of the session. So it is important, don't go too far with the device, because as the farther that it goes, the harder that it would probably be for the connection to flow easily between the two devices. Singers, you're gonna need a couple things. 2 devices are pretty much a must. So we're gonna need one device to do the communication between the instructor and the student, and a second device to play music. So you are gonna be asked to probably play some karaoke tracks or some music from our practice channel. So definitely having a second device is a must. You want to have that second device with a little bit of volume. So if you have a Bluetooth speaker, or you can connect to something that sounds loud enough as your voice, that would absolutely help. Now, the second thing that we need is for you to be standing. So we'll preferably do the shot standing, and it's even better if you have a music stand. Now, you should have in advance your lyrics. So important to have your lyrics printed. If you don't have a printer, maybe you can handwriting, which is a good practice on how to memorize lyrics. But you should have all of this prior to starting the lesson. So if you're working on a specific song, go ahead and make sure that you have the lyrics before the start of the lesson. So when we are ready to start teaching you, we don't lose a lot of time trying to find lyrics or trying to even print them at your house. Now, headphones are usually a good thing for group lessons, but at the same time, have them handy, because we may need to have you either use them or not use them depending on what the instructor is doing during the class. And one very important thing, we want to ask you to already have done the warm-ups. We have a couple of new warm-ups on our practice channel. That's the Hit Music Studio practice channel. So definitely you should watch those warm-ups prior to the start of your lesson and be already warm up so we can directly go into the content. So we're gonna post more warm-ups, but it's important for you to, if your class is at 4, maybe at 3:45 start doing the warm-ups. That way at 4 you can directly start with your teacher and start having some fun and getting already some of the lessons moving along. So we want to conclude by thanking you for this opportunity. There's a lot of changes going on here at the Hit Music Studio, and we are incredibly grateful to be able to further our relationship with you guys through technology, through video, and doing the lessons remotely. So we hope this is a short time and that we can restore our schedule back up. But in the meantime, we truly want to continue having our passion for music also impact you guys at home and have the students retain some normalcy in their lives. We'll hope to see you guys very soon.